Ladies and gentlemen, seekers of truth and power, there are words so profound, so mighty, that when understood, truly understood, they unlock a force within you that no man can measure and no circumstance can conquer. This force is not born of wealth, nor fame, nor strength of muscle. It is born of belief. Not ordinary belief, not the type that wavers with the wind, but unwavering, soul, deep belief that transforms the impossible into the inevitable. And what is this verse, this divine line of Scripture that holds such boundless power? As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Proverbs 23:7. You see, this is not merely a verse. It is not just ink on paper or a sentence to be quoted in passing. It is a declaration of law, spiritual law, psychological law, universal law. Your thoughts, those silent whispers that echo through your mind every waking hour, are the architects of your destiny. You are not what you wish. You are not what you say. You are what you think. In the deepest chamber of your heart, if you think in terms of defeat, then defeat will claim you. If you think in terms of fear, then fear will imprison you. But if you think in terms of power, of victory, of purpose and unshakable faith, then those very things shall become your reality. The world does not shape the man. The man shapes the world through the thoughts he allows to dwell within. Do you understand now the weight of that verse? As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. If you think of yourself as weak, you'll act weak. If you think of yourself as strong, you'll rise like a lion. Your external world is nothing more than the out-picturing of your internal convictions. This is not positive thinking. This is not wishful dreaming. This is spiritual engineering. You must begin today to audit your thoughts with the same seriousness you would audit your finances if your fortune depended on it, because it does. Only the currency is not money. It is life. It is time. It is legacy. You want to know why some rise while others fall. It is not because of their schooling, not because of their background. It is because of the dominant thoughts they plant and nurture in their minds. A man may be born into poverty, but if his heart thinks prosperity, he will rise. A man may have nothing but failure behind him, but if his mind holds an image of victory, he will overcome. The Bible gives us this key, not to admire, but to apply. So I ask you, what do you think in your heart? Not what you show the world, not what you say when others are listening, but in the quiet hour when no one else hears. What do you truly believe about yourself? Because that is what you are becoming. Today is the day you take back your power. Today is the day you take this ancient truth and use it not just as a scripture to quote, but a law to live by. From this moment forward, think thoughts of strength. Think thoughts of greatness. Think thoughts of service, of love, of relentless perseverance, and the world, sooner or later, will mirror it back to you. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Write that truth on the tablet of your mind. Recite it until your soul believes it, and watch your life become a masterpiece of intention. The greatest discovery any individual can make is this, that the thoughts you consistently hold in your heart are the blueprint of your future. The world may call you by many names, may see you through many lenses, but it is your own mental picture, the one you paint on the canvas of your mind, that determines your reality. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. These are not empty words. This verse, this eternal truth, is not merely a passage to be admired. It is a spiritual law, one that operates whether you believe it or not, whether you are aware of it or not. The moment you internalize this truth, your life begins to shift, not gradually, but immediately, because now you understand that you are not a product of what has happened to you. You are a product of what you think about most often. You are not defined by your job, your background, your education, or your bank account. These are temporary conditions. Your true self is defined by the quality of your thoughts, by the picture you carry of yourself when no one is watching, when the lights go off and you're left with nothing but your inner dialogue. And here's the crux of the matter: the mind does not question what it is fed. It accepts whatever is repeated to it often enough, especially when emotion is attached. Tell yourself you are defeated, and your mind will agree, and begin to show you the evidence. Tell yourself you are born to rise, and your mind will also agree, and it too will begin to gather evidence. The world outside will shift to match the world you build within. Thought is causative. You are thinking your way into your results. What you think with conviction, you become. This is not an opinion, it is a law. Just as gravity pulls you to the ground, this law pulls your life toward the dominant vibration of your heart's belief. Think about the great men and women of history. They were not handed a golden road. They created it, step by step, with their belief in who they were and what they were destined to do. And that belief was not luck. It was cultivated, disciplined, and guarded like treasure. If you see yourself as weak, life will give you proof of your weakness. If you see yourself as strong, capable, and chosen for greatness, life will begin to bow to your conviction. So look within. Ask yourself not what you wish for, but what you truly believe about yourself. What are the thoughts you repeat in the quiet of your soul? Because that is who you are becoming. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Accept this truth, embrace it, and then begin to think right. All men live in two worlds, the world without and the world within. The outer world, the one you see, touch, and move through, is nothing more than a mirror. It reflects with exacting precision the dominant state of your inner world. This is a truth that escapes the majority, and yet it is the very key to transformation, success, and peace of mind. Men stumble through life believing that circumstances shape their destiny. They point to the economy, to their upbringing, to misfortune, to what someone else did or failed to do. But let it be known, the world outside has no power over you that you do not first grant it through your own thoughts. The condition of your life, your finances, your relationships, your opportunities, is the outpicturing of your inner convictions. You are not shaped by events, you are shaped by your interpretation of those events. Two men may face the same setback. One is destroyed by it, the other is refined by it. The difference lies not in the event, but in the mind. Everything that you allow to dwell persistently in your mind eventually becomes flesh, becomes fact, becomes the substance of your experience. Thought, when believed, becomes action. Action, when repeated, becomes habit. And habit carves the character that steers the ship of your life. The man who shapes his world is the man who first disciplines his mind. He guards it as a fortress. He plants only the seeds of power, of vision, of victory, and uproots any weed of doubt or fear that dares take root. He understands that if he does not take charge of his inner world, the outer world will take charge of him, and not in his favor. Do not wait for your conditions to change before you change your belief. That is the way of the weak. The strong man changes his belief first and watches as his world bends to match it. You do not wait to see results to believe. You believe first with such intensity and consistency that the results must appear. The world is not your master, it is your servant. It waits for you to issue a command, not in words, but in thought. The mind is the workshop. In it you forge your future. Every invention, every empire, every victory began in the invisible realm of thought. So too does your next chapter. You cannot think poverty and attract prosperity. You cannot think fear and live with courage. You cannot think weakness and manifest strength. The outer world obeys the law of the inner world, always. So begin today to reshape your thought patterns. Think with clarity, think with vision, think with faith, and think consistently, because the moment you claim power over your thoughts is the moment you begin shaping the world to reflect the greatness that lies within you. There is a force that moves mountains, that births revolutions, that turns the invisible into the visible. It is not brute strength. It is not luck. It is not talent or timing. It is faith, absolute, unwavering faith, and the conviction that what you believe with intensity shall, in time, become your reality. Faith is not passive. It is not mere hope. It is not a wish whispered into the wind. It is a force of nature, a mental dynamo that powers the machinery of success. When a man believes in something so deeply that it becomes part of his very being, the world begins to shift to accommodate that belief. Conviction is faith in motion. It is belief married to action. A man with conviction does not second, guess, does not hesitate, does not waver. He moves forward with clarity, not because he sees the whole path, but because he knows, without doubt, that the path will appear as he walks it. The greatest achievers in history, those who rose from nothing and bent the world to their will, were not the strongest nor the smartest. They were those who believed most intensely in the vision they held. That belief became their fuel. It gave them stamina when others tired, courage when others trembled, and resilience when others surrendered. You must understand, faith is the foundation of all achievement. Without it, even the most brilliant plan is dead before it begins. But with it, even the most modest idea can grow into a force that changes the world. And here is the truth most overlooked. You are always placing your faith in something, either in your power or in your limitations, either in your vision or in your fear. If you believe you are destined to fail, that belief becomes prophecy. If you believe you are equipped to win, that belief becomes power. Faith, when directed consciously, is a weapon. It destroys doubt. It silences fear. It builds bridges over obstacles that seem insurmountable. But like any tool, it must be used deliberately, trained regularly, and guarded fiercely. Conviction cannot be borrowed. It must be cultivated. Feed it daily. Speak to yourself with the language of champions. Act boldly even when the world offers no guarantees, because that is how faith is forged. You cannot dip your toe into belief and expect to command mountains. You must immerse yourself in it, breathe it, speak it, stand on it when nothing else makes sense. Let your conviction burn so brightly that others feel it when you enter the room. If you desire a life of greatness, you must think greatly, and you must believe with such fire, such certainty, that doubt has no room to live. Faith and conviction, these are not luxuries, they are necessities. They are the keys to power, and the man who holds them firmly in his hand writes his own destiny. There is no greater enemy to the human spirit than the quiet whisper of negative thought. It does not shout. It does not storm in. It creeps softly, unnoticed at first, until it builds a prison of limitation so strong that even the strongest ambition cannot break free. Negative thinking is not harmless. It is not a fleeting mood or a passing shadow. It is spiritual sabotage. It undermines the foundations of success. It eats away at courage. It poisons faith, and worst of all, it convinces you that it is normal. But understand this, you were not designed to dwell in fear, self-doubt, or despair. You were not born to question your worth, to shrink in the face of opportunity, or to bow before adversity. Those habits, those toxic patterns, are learned, and what is learned can be unlearned. The danger of negative thinking is not just that it feels bad, it is that it creates your reality. A man who thinks defeat will begin to act in ways that attract it. A man who expects failure will unconsciously sabotage success. The mind, once filled with fear, will begin to find reasons to quit, even where there are none. Every great downfall begins with a single unchecked thought, a whisper that says, "You're not good enough," a hesitation that says, "You'll probably fail." And if allowed to grow, that seed will choke the roots of every dream you plant. You must guard your mind as you would guard a vault of gold. Would you allow a thief into your home to walk freely and steal your treasures? Then why do you allow negative thoughts to roam unchecked in your consciousness, stealing your confidence, your peace, your vision? The man who wins in life is not always the most gifted, but he is almost always the most disciplined in his thinking. He has trained his mind to reject fear as a liar, to treat doubt as an intruder, and to silence the voice of what if with the roar of I will. Now, this is not to say that negative thoughts will never come. They will. They are part of the human experience, but what you do with them determines your fate. Will you entertain them, feed them, let them linger? Or will you confront them, question them, and replace them with thoughts of strength? You cannot live a powerful life with a powerless mind. You cannot expect abundance while nurturing scarcity. You cannot walk in victory while thinking like a victim. From this moment forward, make a vow to evict every thought that weakens you, to feed only those ideas that empower you, because your mind is not a dumping ground for fear. It is a workshop for greatness. And if you truly desire to build a life of purpose, peace, and power, it begins by refusing to think thoughts that sabotage it. There is a difference, a vast, undeniable difference, between mere motivation and universal law. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes with emotion. It rises with the sun and sets when the mood shifts. But law is constant. It does not wait for you to believe in it. It operates with or without your permission, and it does so with absolute precision. The statement, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he," is not a poetic idea. It is a declaration of law, as real as gravity, as dependable as the rising of the tide. You become what you think about, not sometimes, not when you're inspired, but always. It is the silent architect of your life, building your future brick by brick, according to the blueprint in your mind. The man who treats this truth as a motivational quote will get a motivational result, temporary uplift, followed by an inevitable return to his old reality. But the man who treats this as a law, a fixed, unchanging principle, will begin to take his thoughts seriously. He will begin to see them as creative forces, not suggestions. What happens to a man who ignores the law of gravity? He falls not because he is bad, but because he is ignorant of the principle. So it is with the law of thought. If you think thoughts of failure, lack, weakness, you will attract experiences to match. If you dwell on strength, abundance, courage, you will walk into circumstances that mirror those very conditions. This is not wishful thinking. It is not a trick. It is law. You cannot plant thorns and expect roses. You cannot sow weeds and expect a harvest of wheat. The outer life reflects the inner soil, your results. Your income, your relationships, your opportunities are the fruit of your mental planting. Change the seed and you change the crop. Understand, this law is impersonal. It does not favor the rich or the educated or the privileged. It favors the focused. It serves the disciplined. It bends to the man who accepts full responsibility for what he thinks every hour of every day. And here lies the power. If your life is the sum of your thoughts, then you are never a victim. You are never stuck. You are never beyond repair, because you can change your thoughts. You can install a new vision, a higher standard, a new expectation. And when you do, the law will respond. Just as surely as night follows day, results follow belief, action follows conviction, destiny follows thought, so let others chase motivation, let others look for quick fixes and emotional highs, but you, if you are wise, will build your life on law. You will govern your thoughts like a master architect, knowing that what you think you will become. This is not theory. This is not opinion. This is law, and once you honor it, you step into a power that very few ever truly experience. Every man is thinking, always, but not every man is thinking with purpose. And therein lies the great divide between the one who stumbles through life and the one who sculpts his destiny with precision. Your mind is fertile ground. It does not care what seed you plant. It will return to you what you sow, abundantly. If you plant seeds of doubt, fear, and limitation, you will reap anxiety, hesitation, and missed opportunity. If you plant seeds of faith, discipline, and purpose, you will reap strength, clarity, and the fulfillment of vision. The man who rises is not necessarily the man with more talent or more education. but the man who chooses his thoughts as deliberately as he chooses his words. He does not leave his mind open to every suggestion, every opinion, every fear that passes by. He knows that the moment he allows weeds to grow unchecked, they choke the fruit of everything he is trying to build. You must become the master of your internal world. You must choose your thoughts as a general chooses his soldiers, strategically, intentionally, with the end goal in mind. The mind, when left undirected, defaults to mediocrity. But when led with purpose, it becomes a powerful engine of creation. The truth is simple. The man who does not choose his thoughts is being used by them. Do you want to live with purpose? Then you must think with purpose. That means waking up with a mental blueprint. That means rejecting any thought that does not align with your vision. That means learning to say no, not only to people and distractions, but to thoughts that do not serve your higher good. The man of purpose does not entertain pity. He does not make space for self-doubt. He feels fear like any other, but he does not feed it. He replaces it with clarity, with repetition, with resolve. Every morning you must decide what kind of man you intend to be. Not based on your circumstances, but based on your character, and character is forged in thought long before it is seen in action. You are not a servant to random thoughts. You are the commander of them. You have the power to shift your focus, to reroute your attention, to replace every weak thought with a strong one. That is your birthright and your responsibility. Begin now to monitor the stream of thought flowing through your mind. Interrupt what does not belong, reinforce what does. Speak to yourself with clarity, not confusion, with courage, not complaint, with direction, not drift. Your thoughts are the compass, your words are the sails. Your actions are the wind, and your destination, that is determined by whether or not you choose your thoughts on purpose, and stay loyal to that choice. Greatness is not stumbled upon, it is built, first in thought, then in life. And the builder is always the man who refuses to think by accident.